I think we can get started. I think we can get started, guys. I think it's about that time, guys. My underarms wet. Gym, bro. Sweating, you feel me? What's good? What's good, world? It's your boy. It's your boy. What's good, bro? Welcome to the Junkyard. I'm a junkie addicted to combos. If you've been here before, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get my mace energy going, man. Look, we just came off a whole work day, okay? And now we get to get busy, okay? Now we get to do this modern JavaScript craziness that I love to do so much. We got a real fun agenda today. If you are new here, yes, I am an addict, okay? I'm addicted to doing the most juiciest, most damaging combos in all of your favorite fighting games. Normally, we doing the most damaging, most juiciest combos on video games, right? We use this most of the time. Most of the time, we got one of these in our hands. Okay, not today. Not today. We put down that controller and we picked up this one, okay? We are going to be getting busy doing juicy combos on some of these modern web technologies. We're going to be using Sanity.io to power our CMS, Vercel to deploy code super quickly, right? Got our CI/CD pipeline going. And then we're going to be using NextJS and React components to bring all that front-end goodness to life, right? So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I got some really dope content ideas coming up. I've been really trying to find my footing in the content strategy space, like the streamer content. I'm a firm believer that these streams are only like not even half the battle, less than half the battle are these streams. The big chunk of feedback and the big chunk of participation and community love comes from VOD content that is catchy and it will have folks coming back to it. So I really just do these nights of streaming because I would be doing this anyway. Okay, I gotta learn these new technologies. All right, so I might as well give myself like a fun project to do doing them. And B, I don't know. I had a B in mind, but I don't know if I want to say it because it might sound crass. I'm gonna skip B. You know what I said? It's my stream. Who cares, right? I was gonna say B is that I can like kill two birds with one stone, right? Like I can still grow a community from streaming online. Like it is possible. So basically, kill two birds with one stone. Hold on, somebody I haven't talked to in so long pinged me earlier, asking about WordPress developers. I'm like, yo, excuse me? Get out of here! What do you mean WordPress developers, man? We don't do that no more, bro. We best not do. Yo, whole time, real talk, true story. I heard a freaking ad on YouTube earlier promoting WordPress. Like, what was crazy about the ad is they were saying things that were so generic, like cloud-based hosting of the future, and some of the most secure tools, and community-driven, community-contributed, whatever, like add-ons at your fingertips, blah blah blah. Like, all you have to do is pay for hosting. It's like, dude. That's like 1991. Chill. Like, first off, everything you just rattled off is a standard in not just content management systems, but websites in general. Like, you can't be like, yo, I'm WordPress, I'm the strongest, and we do cloud hosting now. It's like, dude, everybody and their mama do cloud hosting, bro. You can't gas on that no more. You used to can 20 years ago. Y'all a little bit late, don't? Oh, you want a headless CMS? Well, we're your guy. We have a path forward for that. Dude, no. There are CMSs out here that start headless. Not like we got a path for you to become headless. Chill. But yeah, I had to hit him up though. You know what I'm saying? I had to hit him up. That's my man. Let me reply to him real quick. Yeah, some of the people I used to surround myself by, they were such winners in life. Like the guy I was just talking to, he was kind of a mentor to me back in the day. And you know, we fell out of touch a little bit. But you know, it is your professional voice is giving Stefan Urkel. Yo, T, that's how you feel though? In front of my friends? One of my friends said I sound like Stefan Urkel when I hit him with the professional voice. I can't help it. Like we all got that voice we use when we trying to get serious about some professional stuff. That's what comes out of my vocal cords. I don't know how to fix that. I don't think I'm gonna address that. So, all right. So we did the intro. That was a really speedy intro, but let's get into it because we got quite a bit to cover today. I'm gonna try and do less talking today than I did last time. I know we found ourselves doing a lot of teeing up for the work that we was gonna do, and I don't think we need to do that this time, though, right? We have finished most of the teeing up. So let's just offer a recap, right? Like we always do. So as a recap, let me open one thing first. Where the heck do this list be going, bro? Yo, I am so done with the sticky notes app, bro. Like, I be trying to get my list of notes up so I can like make sure I'm staying on track with everything. But like, it never works out for me. Like, it has a really weird way of letting me know that I have notes open. Like right now, I just opened like a whole stack of notes that I had up, and only one is appearing. Oh, that's so frustrating. Let me close that and see if like I can at least get the list back up. Okay, all right, I got the list back up. I had to shut down everything. All right, so quick recap of what we did. Okay, so let's go back to the browser. Let's get back organized, okay? Because um, I was very, very, very distracted just then. Okay, so I'm gonna get my stage back in order. Bear with me for 2 seconds if I can find it. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, we're back. All right, so going back to the purpose of this kind of hangout, right? The purpose of this hangout session. So what we were doing, I'm gonna head over to the browser now. I don't think we need the stage mode anymore. We're gonna get serious. Over to the browser. Does that look right? That looks good to me. Let's get out of studio mode now. Let's just start streaming for realsies. All right, I'll split those up. Okay, so I'm gonna head over to IGN so I can just quickly explain what we were gonna do, right? So I come from a news background. That's why it was really easy to find my footing in this type of project. The idea here is that we want to create ourselves a gaming news website, right? So we want to have the concept of a landing page like this, like a home page, where we have a bunch of stories, right? Our bread and butter, our main content type for this website is going to be the story content type. And a story content type has two different content types that it can reference, right? So this here, what you see on my screen, this is the story content type. But then if we scroll up to the top, these here are this concept of tagging, right? So imagine you have a bunch of stories that are all related to PlayStation 5. So you'll probably want a tag of PlayStation 5 so you can now dictate where each of those stories go, right? So that's we need tags too. And also stories can be associated with people. So we need this concept of a person content type, right? So you can imagine there's a person named Ryan Dinsdale who's created a bunch of stories, right? So we'll be able to kind of aggregate a section that just focuses only on his story content. So that's what we're doing, right? And the way we're going to achieve that, we're going to use some of the latest and greatest technologies that are free of charge, supposedly. We did put that to the test last week, actually, with the content import stuff, and we'll be doing that again today. But the software that we're going to be using is Sanity.io. That's going to be our content management system. So we're going to build that out to contain stories and people, etc. Then we're going to use NextJS and React components to deliver that front-end experience. So what you're seeing on my screen right here, this is a website template, right? This is a section front of some sort, a person page maybe. And we want to do that too. We want to use Next.js to actually take the Sanity content management system data and push it out to our website automatically, right? We shouldn't have to create page after page after page. And then we want to use the Vercel platform as our CI/CD pipeline because we want to be able to automate these builds and deploying all of this code to the interwebs, right? So that's what we're doing. That's our recap. So where did we leave off was that we are in a really weird situation. Not a weird situation. It's actually extremely common. The situation we find ourselves in our Jira board, right? So for those who were a part of some of those other sessions, we're using Jira to maintain this project. For those who were not a part of those sessions, to you I say go look at those other sessions if you want to know what Jira is. But no, Jira is a really powerful tool, and we've been using it. But we found ourselves with this kind of a board, right, where we have a bunch of items still in to do. We have a couple items done, but not as much as we'd like. Mainly, what we've been focused on is how can we do these 3 tickets, add 10 new tags, create 10 new people, create 60 new stories. How can we do that more programmatically? So we're not sitting here like drones, literally typing away, creating fake content, right? That would be a nightmare. That's not something we want to spend time doing. So when we look at the days remaining, right, this little ticker up here, we can see that we are cutting it kind of close, right? We have 6 days to deliver quite a few things. So I do expect some rollover this sprint. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'll pick my battles, right? I'll make sure that the things that I'm rolling over are things that aren't as critical. Like, for example, I may just ignore this 8-point ticket here, the moving story elements from standalone components to WYSIWYG. As cool as that might be, it just might not be something we need to prioritize for this sprint. So we'll do that some other time. I think tonight, though, what we're going to focus on is finishing where we left off last week, where we had ourselves a content automation system or a content creation system, and we want to add the last content type, which is story. We want to add that to the system, and then we want to probably do some code cleanup. That's something that's not going to be on this list, but I did notice when I was looking at the code this weekend that it can be a lot more organized. And I say that because there's going to be times where we change fields around, we add new fields, etc. We're not going to want to be mucking around in this one chunk of oh, sorry, I got some yeah, like, okay. We're not gonna want to be mucking around in one file to manage all of this different stuff, right? So we're gonna go ahead and clean that code up a bit as well. So I'll say all of these tickets are in progress. Our goal is to, by the end of tonight, be able to create all this content with the click of a button, and then we are hopefully going to be able to move on to the enhancing the homepage to leverage data from Sanity.io. As a matter of fact, now that I see this breakdown, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock these 3 tickets out first, right? And then once these are done, I'll circle back to this before we do the code cleanup. Because in theory, we'll have the ability to, from the click of a button, generate all this content. So it doesn't really make sense to ignore this ticket since it's already in our in progress list. We might as well use the auto-generated content to populate that homepage that we built. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. Let's dive in. Let's get started. Let's go over to the IDE, to the IDE. Okay, that is not the IDE. Okay, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. So now let's go to IDE. So it looks like when you, I don't know, I didn't know that this happens, but I think in OBS when you minimize stuff, see now I can't go back to, there we go, okay. It's like when you minimize stuff, sometimes it gets like distorted. I don't know why. All right, so we got the cam in there. Okay, cool. So now let's move on to where we left off last time. So we were in the create content section of our code. Let me see what branch we're on. We might as well start a branch up. Yeah, see, we're not even on the main branch, but I'm pretty sure this came from main. I'm pretty sure I made this from main. So that's probably, if we go back to our browser, let's see here. I'm guessing that that's this ticket. Yeah, that's this ticket. So I did create a branch from it. And I don't actually need it. Oh, my niece is calling me. Hey! Hey, what's up? Why am I like a video mode? I don't know. Something wrong with my hold on, what the? Yeah, please do. That is something not right about that. Okay, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. Hey, what's up? I'm streaming right now. Yeah. No, he wasn't. He never joins. All right, I gotta go though. I gotta finish. All right, that was my niece. Love her. She's awesome. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is where I created that branch. It looks like I do have a PR that got merged. That was probably something else that I did. I'm trying to see where this branch got created from. It was 14. Yeah, this is String Junkie 14, so it was definitely that. Yeah, leverage data from sanity.io is the name of that. The name of that branch that we're currently sitting on. So that's fine. That should be okay to stay on this branch. Let me see what changes I have here. Oh! Oh, CJ IRL with the 5 months. Thanks, bro. I was just saying how you don't never be on here no more. You come out nowhere with the 5 months. He say, I'm here, I'm here. What's good, bro? I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the love, bro. Bro be always coming through randomly, man. He crazy like that, bro. She say, told you. Thanks, CC. All right, so let's get into it. Let's create this test data. Let's actually recap what we did here, right? Because to be quite honest, I need a refresher myself. So I know we did the tags, right? We did the build tags, and then we did build people, right? So those were the kind of meat and potatoes to get the objects, basically to get the objects of data that we needed to be like instantiated, let's say, right? So we now have populated people and tags arrays. But then the next thing we had to do was we had to actually perform these transactions, right, with the client. And what that means is basically I had to establish a connection between my local machine here, this black window that you see, and CC came in on business. Yo, that's my baby. You already know she's finna look out. She said, "Why you ain't on Uncle Chris stream? Why you ain't on there?" I appreciate it. Once the transactions, like I was saying, is like you have a client, which is our little machine here, this black box, the command line here. This is our this isn't our client, sorry. This is our local instance. So this is like a web server that wants to communicate with a client, right? So I guess technically we are the client. Technically what happens in development, especially with APIs locally or on a web server, is you are establishing a client connection. That's what you're really doing. You're saying that on your system, let's say I was Sanity, right? I'm saying on my system, here are some criteria, some security things that I'll ask you in order to know whether or not you have access to do things to me. Like, can you write to me? Can you read from me? Right? Can you read data from me? Can you make changes to me? Etc. So you establish a client, which is essentially a contract that you and the system in the cloud have. So, and that's what we've established, right? We now have a client that can perform something called transactions, which is arbitrary name. They call it whatever they want, but it's a really good name for this, right? We can perform various transactions now. We can use our client to read data from our Sanity Studio. We can also use the client to write data to our Sanity Studio, which is what we've been doing here. So I have this build tags constant here that comes from that method up top, and then I'm gonna create some transactions, right? So we have this. I want to create, I think, 5 transactions. Tag batch equals, yeah, and then this is just a promise here. So it's not. I don't even know why this is called tag batch really. This is 5 different promises getting added here, I think. Limit AC. Okay, yeah, that's right. This is 5 different transactions because what we're doing is we're populating these into this transaction object. So every time this iteration loops once, it has created a new transaction. It doesn't do anything with that transaction yet, but it's basically filling up a bag of transactions. Right? Then eventually we do this line here, which is an asynchronous call that's going to one by one execute each of these transactions we created. So imagine you're at like a store and it's you and 5 of your friends. You all are in line. Well, each of you guys will have one single transaction, right? So you go first, the cashier checks you out, done. That's one transaction out of this bag, complete. Then move on to the next person in line, right? And that's what this is doing. So the first thing we're doing is we are creating a batch of tags. I think there's 5 tags that we're creating. Then after that, we move on to do the exact same thing with people. Notice this code is almost identical, right? The only thing that changes is the reference to people. So we can probably see some opportunity in optimizing that as well. So now once the people and the tags have been created, one thing we left off on last time is now we are in perfect shape. We are in the perfect position to create our stories. Right, so when we had originally got this code, it was from someone creating, I think it was posts. This was the Sanity Studio code, actually. So we are going to uncomment this out and get right to it, creating our stories. So the first thing I want to do is I want to start conforming this code that they gave us into what we actually need for what we're doing. So I don't know why I keep not calling that stories count. I keep calling it story count, but it's really stories count. People count and then tag count. No, I'll do story count. That's okay. I'll do story count. I don't usually like to do that because what I like to look at this as is like group and then underscore count. So you don't have a group of story, you have a group of stories, like you have a group of people, and you have a group of tags. I'm actually going to fix that. That's going to bother me if I don't fix it now. I'm going to call this tags count, and then I'm going to call this stories count. Okay, and now those will be a lot more palpable for me because I hated those. Okay, so let's scroll down to our story section and let's start cleaning this up, right? We know we don't have post batches. As a matter of fact, we don't have posts in general. We can call anything that, anytime we see the word post, we can actually say stories. So I'm going to do this a little slower like we did last time. I'll do it one by one. I won't try and blast these. So stories batches, length batches, index, all of that's good. We'll call this stories. This is going to be stories count. Oh, you know what? I want to change this again, guys. Because I do want this to be singular, not yeah, these are content type underscore, and then how many of that content type I want, right? So if we find people, let's go ahead and do the same thing. This is now person count, and then let's find tags, and then this is now going to be tag. Okay, so that should be good. Let's see where we have our errors. We still have a lot of errors because we just got started cleaning this up. I'm not sure we're going to need this comment block, but I'm going to leave it here as we progress through cleaning this up. So we got stories, stories. These are all going to be story singular. Yeah, the only time you use stories plural is when you want to denote that there is an array of them, right? So if it's just one story, so this is story index is what that I denotes. This is all good. These are the faker images we'll need. This is also stories. It's a new object of Sanity documents. And then this is categories. But it assumes I have them up here, which I don't, right? We don't have them up here anymore. We move them here. So the question is, do I have at least... Hang on, I should at least have a... let me close these out real quick. I should at least in the create data have the... Yeah, there they are. So they're tags. That's not categories, it's tags. And then this is going to be tag count. Okay, image assets good, fake true's good, that's fine. We're gonna move this out. Remember, this goes up to its own little helper. As a matter of fact, let's do that now. Let's do a build story method here. That's gonna be a replica of build people. We're actually gonna get rid of all this though. I want to use what's below for this part of it. So I'll use everything between return and the declaration. So this is gonna be build story. Build stories. This is plural. So going back to where we were, let's close all this. I need to start closing these out because they're getting really annoying to see. Here we go. This is our for loop. We'll just go ahead and grab that first because remember, we don't need, basically it's just going to be const stories is equal to build stories, right? And then we're going to get rid of this because we're going to have declared that above, right? So let's just do, I just got rid of that for loop by accident. All right, so I'll put the for loop back here. We'll come and grab all this now, and that error should go away once this duplicate constant is on, which it is. So, oh, I already had it. I don't need it again. I already had the constant. Okay, so now we have this constant of stories. Okay, we're going to say build stories here. And then now I'm just going to go through and be lazy. I don't want to have to do all of this all over again. So I actually need tags here, and I'll need people as well, right? So I'm going to actually need to pass in these constants of tags and people. So I'm going to say this is tags and people. Okay, and I think this is saying that these are promises. So I think I need a wait here. And I need this to be something that accepts these. So tags. Yep. That's exactly right. And then let's see how I'm faring down here. And I got rid of that error. Okay, good. So now that we have these two items, which we know we need here, this error goes away. So actually, before I get further down here, let's clean this up a bit by doing this the right way. So we'll come here into, where did I do it? I think I had them in public data model. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we'll use this because remember, this is what we're recreating, right? We're recreating this here. So actually what I'll do, I know we don't need updated at or created. So let's start cleaning this out a bit. I'm not going to save this. We needed these three. I don't know if we needed revision. We needed the ID and type. Authors is a reference to people. We'll keep that. Description is a block. We'll do that later. Featured content is a Boolean. We'll keep that. Featured media is an image. We'll do that later. Slug, subtitle. Tags is also a related content or entity reference, I'll call it. So we'll keep that as well. But now let's undo everything we just did here so we don't mess up our story.json model. And let's bring that all here. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to say goodbye to all of this fake information. Or maybe I don't. Maybe not all of it. Maybe what I'll do is just stack this. Wait, let's do some cleanup first so I don't have to do all of that manually. We need to get this to look more like a JSON feed. So I'm going to open this up in a new tab. Am I on the... Yeah, I am. Okay. So just like these keys shouldn't be wrapped in... They shouldn't be wrapped in double quotes, right? So I'm going to take that, use my regular expression engine in the IDE to just say anything that you find in that group, put it in a group of its own, right? Whoops. So it's going to be $1. Oh, it looks like I'm also taking out the semicolons, which that looks better, right? Actually, yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Okay, so now we'll take that, and this is what we'll dump here instead. So I think we need to add our object reference. There we go. Okay, so now that came over clean. And what we'll do is the things that we know we've already done, like title and ID, for example, we'll do those over here. Okay, so we'll just take the same thing that we already have and put them over here. Care about that. Type is going to be... Underscore type, I think, was story. Yeah, story. Okay, and then for the title and stuff, we had these two little methods that we had at the top of these for loops, right? So we're gonna put the delay here, we're gonna put the slug stuff here, and we're gonna put the... Actually, let's steal this one from tag because it's more similar. So we'll do the sleep here. The title and the slug, we're doing a little replacing so that our slug, we know we want it to be all lowercase and separated by dashes. So we'll do that here as well. And then that way we have the things that we need to generate the title, the slug, and the image, the fake image. I'm gonna come here, let's paste that in here. So now we have the things that we need for that. Let's see, where's title? There it is. I like to put my title at the top of the payload. I don't know what they were thinking putting it here at the bottom, but not what I'm gonna do. So just under ID, actually the way I usually organize it is ID, then type, then title. And it looks like actually I did have title up there. That should be fine. And then authors are going to be references to, like, it's going to be a random number that references the person that I just pulled in, the person array that I just put in. But it has to reference it, sorry. It has to reference it randomly. So the way we do that is we use the faker library. So I'm going to see if I can remember this by heart. I think what you do is you say, this is going to be equal to an array from length. Yeah, here we go. Faker number int. Wow, they did most of the work for me there. So that's going to be curly brace close. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Then I want to map that, right? Because I want to say that this array now equals some information that I want to repeat, right? Which is this information right here. I want to say that it returns. So going back to our map, this is going to return now this this data. So it's going to return this, but it's going to randomize it, right? So key is going to be equal to some whatever this is. I don't know what that is. Oh no, wait, these are random person, right? These are random person. So this is going to return, and it looks like I have a number. Basically, this is an array with a number in it. So I can say return anybody in the person people array at index this is another faker that I need, right? This is another faker that I need because yeah, there we go. This is so awesome that they're doing all this for me. But now we need to see what the actual faker library is for number. I think it's number. Is it number.random? Maybe it's number.int. Number.int. And then this is where you say a minimum of 0, maximum of whatever my people.length is. Okay, so I don't need the comma here. I need that curly brace though. Okay, so that was a really ugly way to do that. But that's it. That's the actual command right there. So now that what that should do is that should give us a array of authors is what that should do. And it looks like I'm missing something. So this is the blue for that. Then I'm going to be missing the close parentheses for the method. And then that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, because we have the close parentheses from with the dot before map. Yep, so that should be good. Feature content. This is a another one that I want to use faker for. I want to use faker to decide between one of two things. So I can't remember where I did that. I think we went online to figure that out, and we did it somewhere. Where it was like a list. Oh, we did it with people and the social media. So where did we do that with the people? Hope that's Bill Stories. Here we go. Social networks. It was this one. It was this one. And here we actually did need to return a Boolean, but all we need to do is pass in the this guy here, right? And we don't even need to use the faker array stuff here. All we have to do is grab this exact, actually this exact key could do it for us, right? So if we took this key and put it in where we have feature content, right? We could just change type to feature content and change this to true or false. Right? So now we have our Booleans set up. So it'll choose a bunch of these that are featured and a bunch of these won't be featured. So it's going to have one of these items in there. For slug, we know that the current is going to be the slug variable itself. Right? That's our lowercase dash delimited version of the title. And the type is going to be slug if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And then our subtitle is going to be, I like something that they did in People. It was called like a catchphrase. Yeah. A company catchphrase adjective. I feel like that's kind of cute. I'm going to keep that. So I think we did sentence in one of these too, where we found that sentence was kind of cool. But for the subtitle, I'm just going to use that. The catchphrase adjective. Wait, that might just be a single word though, huh? Yeah, let's just do sentence for this. Let's do faker dot, I think it's, is it word? Yeah, faker dot word dot sentence. No, not word. It's faker dot sentence. Maybe it's words plural. No, I think words itself is deprecated, so it is word. Um, uh, the text maybe? Damn it, I can never remember what these are. Let's see, word, string, I don't. Lorem, that's what it is, lorem. Lorem ipsum, sentence, okay? We want a sentence to be a minimum of 3 words and a maximum of, how many words should we say? 12 maybe in a subtitle? I don't know. All right, for tags, we're going to do our same thing that we did before. We're going to keep one of these around. We'll get rid of the other 3. And really what we want to do is this is array.from. Let's actually get that on another line. Away.from. Come on, give me that. There we go. Length, faker number, int. Yep, that looks good. Dot map. Yep, and then that looks okay, but I feel like that's missing something. Okay, I don't know if we need the a value to be here or not. I think we're good to just say that this returns this object. Oh wait, no, it doesn't need to return that object though, right? I think it just needs to return. Let me see something real quick. I gotta see how they were doing the references, because I think you have to say that you'll have one of these reference, but it does need to be an object form. I bet it does need to be an object form where you're like, this can be a random person. However, it can be a random person. Let me think about this. So this feels wrong to me, right? Because if we look at the schema for story.json, make sure I'm not. Okay. When we look at the schema for story.json and look at authors, they all have this object, right? So I can't neglect that. I have to tell my story that it's referenced, right, by these things. So the only thing I don't need is a key. So let's go back over to our create dataset method. Let's do this. Oh, that happened. Let's do that. And let's say, actually, let's put that down a bit. And let's say we know that this is our end state. We want an array of these. So now we just have to write that, right? So we can get rid of key. Pretty sure we can get rid of key. And then for ref, that these don't need to be surrounded by double quotes. And then now for the ID, what I'm thinking is I do need this, right? The only challenge with this is it might give us more than one of the, like it might duplicate these. So it's going to give us either between 2 and 5. And then the randomizer here is going to say choose between. Yeah, I'm okay with it. And this is actually, yeah. So, and then the type is reference. So that's okay. We might have some content that have duplicates. We'll need to address those, but I think this might be okay. So it's going to be people, blah, blah, blah. And then I think for us, each individual, so this is a person index. So I think for us, we have to do underscore ID at the end of that, because these are going to be dot notation references. So I need to do dot underscore ID here. Okay, so now we have a fake person being generated there. Now going back to tags, right? We have the same situation where here this needs to return a specific tag from our array of tags, right? So we'll do exactly what we did for person here. Not gonna be there, but I'm not gonna type all that. We just did it. Here it is for people. It's the exact same logic. Okay, so now we have, let's just do the whole thing. Okay, but instead of people, we'll do tags. That all looks good. And then here we just need to get rid of, I think it's just that. All of this. All right, and this was that other, I think this was that other one at the bottom, yeah. So let's make sure we grab fake. And let's go to story. Let's see if I'm missing anything. I wonder if I'm missing something. Media, slug, subtitle, tags, and title. Yeah, no, that's everything. So we will start getting rid of the stuff that we don't need here. Yep, that looks good. So this is how they do their referencing. They say math.floor, math random tag count. Oh, because they're only doing one item here. They're only doing one item. I do like how they're grabbing their indexes, though. I'm going to steal this at least. But because using a native version over Faker is going to be more performant. So I'll just use the native version there. So they're saying give me any number basically between 0 and whatever I chose as my tag count, which we chose, I think, 5 or something like that. All right, so then now coming down to our tags here, let's also replace this. All right, so math.floor, math random, and then this is going to be tag count, and then the other one's going to be person count. All right, so yeah, sometimes an over engineer, and that's what we were doing right there, using helpers to using Faker to do something as simple as getting a random number. There's no point to do that. No, we don't need that. We don't need this category reference. We do need image. Let's go ahead and take care of our image while we're here. So we have a key called featured image, and it has a few things, right? It has a description, it has media, and it has a title. So let's actually grab just the title and type. And we'll also grab media. We'll do our blocks last. So we will grab media as well. Oh, wow. We can have a lot of media? Media has a description, a thumbnail, a title, a transcript. That's why that was so long, because of description. I hate doing this, but I'm going to delete this. I hope I don't accidentally save this. These are block level elements that we don't care about right now. But we'll just deal with these for now for featured media. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's do this. Let's get rid of our keys. And now in create data, go to featured media. So we have featured content. Let's just pop featured media right here. This is going to be an object populated by these things. And then here we have missing comma. And this is going to be our image, I believe. Oh, it's a video element here. That's also going to be interesting because we don't. I wonder if Faker can give us a fake video. Let me see, because they can generate fake. Faker did generate fake images for us, so maybe Faker can generate allow Faker to. Yeah, it looks like you have to install something though, which we are not doing. Let's see, browse the API. Search for video. Nope. Video, because I know image is here. Let me see how they did the image Faker. Faker.image.url, pick some photos, yeah. I don't see anything for video. Alright, well, we just won't worry about video for now, which is fine. I'm not super married to doing video right off the bat anyway, so let's come back over to our schema and grab an example from media that was, okay, it looks like for this first story, we only did, yeah, it looks like we only did wait, so here's, yeah, no, this is all video. This is all video. We need an example of a story payload that has featured media that is an image. I don't think we need that though. I think we can steal it from any one of the other image examples we have, right? Like we built an image here as well. So it stands to reason that the same stuff that goes here is the same stuff that goes in the story, right? Because these all use image elements. All right, I don't want to chance that though. That'll suck that we get all the way down. And so let's actually fire up the. Gonna fire up the that on stream, shall we? We'll fire up the environment. Open in browser. Let's go ahead and open our browser. And then now we'll head over to Sanity, which is somewhere in here. Studio, and that'll take a minute. Okay. And then now under stories, we'll just go we'll change our featured media to be photo, and then we'll just see what that looks like. We won't even save this. So featured media. And is that here? Yeah, I'm guessing this ended up being a video. Yeah, yep, this ended up being a video. And I think this is one of those fields where we can only add one. I'm gonna try and add a second one, but I think it's gonna bark at me. And I won't make the same mistake as I did last time, populating all these with like real data when all I really want is the schema. It can be whatever data we want. All right, so now we have our image in here, and I should get an error saying that, yeah, must have exactly one item, or only one item is what that probably should say. I'm gonna remove this first video, and I'm actually gonna save this after all. So let's go ahead and publish this. We'll come back to video someday. Maybe that'll be a ticket, right? Some person will require that we stand up a video. I'm gonna select all of this. I'm gonna head back over to our story JSON file. I'm gonna paste this over it, and then I'm gonna actually copy this. I'm gonna save that and close it. I'm gonna undo anything I did in person and close that. I'm gonna come back over to this kind of blank slate area, and I am gonna get rid of these block text chunks because they are taking up way too much space. We'll circle back to them. We're not gonna neglect them, but for now we can just test that our imagery is working correctly. We don't need to test those as well. I can get rid of these two. We have those accounted for already. I can get rid of slug. Let's see, I can get rid of all these. All right. The only one we really have left is featured media. So now in here, inside of media, it is an image element, and this is another block level thing that we'll tackle in a second. And yeah, we were right? It just takes the exact same schema of a image element. So that means that any place in our code that we've already used an image element, we can just recycle that. So I'll come here to image. I don't know what the field is called below, but we'll see in a second, whatever the story field is, featured media. So featured media itself has a title, and it has media. Ours is going to be, our media now is going to be a array of a single object. I don't even know why that's an array. I think I wrote that incorrectly, now that I think about it. But this is going to just be media. And it's an array, unfortunately. I don't know why it's written that way. But there we go. Now we have our array of a single object. And we can get rid of this altogether. And the rest of that should work out of the box, right? There shouldn't be anything special about media. Let's just make sure we have all the fields required for that. Yeah, so it had a type of media element. Oh, that's different actually. Okay, yeah, so this is a type of media element. Do I cover that here? Yeah, I do. Okay, so type of media element, title is featured, and then inside of media, I have an array of object options, but I'm only gonna have a single media type here for image. Okay, so that should be good to go. Then we have slug, subtitle, tags, finally image, which we just tackled. All right, so actually that's weird. Okay, that looks better. All right, so that looks good to me. And now I believe I'm successfully getting stories. So if we were to come back down to our code where we just left off, the next thing to do is to test this, right? Before I do any kind of transactions, I just want to test that what I've done just now is not broken, right? It doesn't break anything. So I'm going to come here, and for this, let me just make sure I don't have the wrong. Yeah, okay. So for everything between here, I'm going to comment out. And then I'm going to console log stories, right? Because in theory, nothing is getting written. Nothing is getting written to sanity yet. And I'm also going to kill this promise down here so that I can guarantee nothing is getting written to sanity. So the tag batches I'm not caring about. We know that we're doing these builds here for the people and the tags. That's required for this to work. So then we're going to do await build stories because that's required for this to work. So on the first iteration of this batch, it's going to pass the tags and people that got generated from the above code, and it's going to build out some story objects based on that. And in the end, the stories, the counts that we wanted, right? We wanted there to be 10 people, 10 tags, and then I think this was something crazy like 60. So I'm going to do a fraction of this for now. I'm just going to say give me 5 stories and 2 of each of these. Or maybe 5 of each of these. And still do only 5 stories though. So now I can have I been in a god dang it. Oh, this is so frustrating. I've been in the IDE that whole time just getting busy with the code. Alright, sometimes I'm not on top of that. So what were we just doing? We were trying to figure out the data side of it, right? So I went to the browser, I copied that JSON payload. And then back in our local environment here, I went back to the story JSON and I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with video right now. I'm just going to take whatever's in here and copy paste over it with what I just did when I added an image instead on the Sanity Studio side. So now this payload has the exact structure required to create one story with a image. So now that we had that, the next step was to identify the image key here, so featured media in this case, and then find out if the image object was another image element, which it turned out to be an image element, right? So just like our other image element. Oh, this is our caption portable text. Yeah, here it is. This is the photo. It looks exactly like our image. So this whole thing is our image, right? So then from there, we were able to just kind of use that to finish building out the build stories method. So come back down here, we have the build stories method. So now this thing should be capable of spitting back a object that looks like a compatible story, right? With image and all. So we basically have a stop point in the code here. Whoops. A stop point in the code. What did I just do? Okay, there we go. A stop point in the code here. On down. That says, go ahead and build the tags. Don't create them. Just build the tags. Then build the... Oh, actually, it does need to create them, now that I think about it. We need to create these things because I need to be able to reference them by ID. And it won't do that. Like when it gets to this step here, it won't. These tags and these people won't have IDs unless I've actually committed that transaction. So the people transaction here and the tag transaction, those all get populated into these batches, tags batch and people batch. So down here, I need to run that, which is going to guarantee that by the time it gets to the stories, these have already been added to the Sanity Studio and are ready to be used in story. So all we're trying to see here, though, with console log story, we're just trying to see that the object that we get back is a compatible object with the schema that we're about to pump it into, right? So in order to make a story, it has to be compatible with story. Okay. So let's go ahead here, and what I'll do, if I'm not mistaken, we had an alias for this. I forgot what it was. I think it was like DC. Yeah. Okay, no, it was not that. All right, well, we'll just have to find out what it was. Dash CP? Dash P? Okay, these are our custom aliases. Bash HP. I don't like that. It should be bash CP, but I guess I'll use both. All right, and then we'll rebash that. And then now I wrote a command that was specifically for that npx call, and it was supposed to I could have sworn I wrote that. It was an alias that we did that was specifically used to shorten this npx command that we had to keep doing. But I guess I didn't write it. That's so weird. Well, let me just make sure of it first. I'll do a... Yeah, there it is. So wait, I was in the wrong one. Home, Heister, custom. Yeah, this is a different one, huh? So if I do bash p, I mean, no, not bash p, but bash hp, where do I go? Oh, custom aliases is where I am. But I want to just be in custom. So as a matter of fact, I even want to get out of this. I don't need this anymore. Yeah, I want to delete this now. Yeah, because I don't need these. That's not my S root. We don't use Docker anymore. We changed all this stuff. I'm actually going to go there. I'm going to do go cd to slash whatever. Let's get rid of that dot custom crap. Yeah, this one here we can go. So I'll do rm rf. Actually, wait, let me just make sure that's the right one that I want to get rid of. Yeah, because we want just custom. So I can get rid of rm dot custom aliases. All right, looks like I already... Wait, I have rf. That's... Gone? Yay, okay. All right, so now we'll just open this manually, and then we'll create the alias to get this open. So now we need an alias, which is bash c, to open, yeah, home.custom. We don't even need the aliases one. All right, so now we should be able to do rebash. Clear the screen here, get rid of that, and DC should do what we expect. Hang on, let me, so wait, why is this complaining? Okay, maybe there's an update. Maybe there's an update to Sanity that we didn't know about, which I'm totally fine with. I'll grab it, but I had no idea. So now we'll need to commit this too, because apparently it's not in the code base. Okay, so this is our own doing. We have to go into these TS files and get rid of this, where was it? Story has it looks like. We did this trying to be clever. We did this ourselves. And it caused some issues because anything with at and then a word is designated for like a package. But there's nothing stopping you from doing @ to denote that you want to declare something in your own package, right? Your own app. So, and that's what we've done there. We've basically created our configuration here that points these to our local folders. So we don't have to keep jumping around or having to do crazy things like .. .. when we're like 8 directories up. We can just use these clever component directory references and just link to them that way. That's way easier. All right, so now we're good there. We can get rid of this custom aliases file. Let's close our bash rc and our custom file. Looks like there's a lot of deprecated stuff inside of Lucide right now, and I'm not loving it. I hate to see things like that. But we'll clean that up here in a bit as well. Let's focus on the task at hand right now, though, shall we? Let's go back to create data. Let's get rid of all this, and now running DC should work. Yeah, there we go. So creating tag 1, tag 2, tag 3. Created 5 tags there. Creating our people. Yep, and it's doing it asynchronously, so some things are out of order. So this still says creating tag. So that means that I have in the function here, I have this incorrect. Wait, is this doing this in batches? Hang on, I gotta make sure it didn't create too much content there. But let's fix this before we move forward too far. Let's fix this build story comment. See, it should say creating story, and then story 1 of however many was in story count. Right? Do I have any other oddities like that? Let me see. Yeah, this one says person count. Oh no, that needs to be person count. Because this is giving me something based on the amount of people in the person count array. Oh, you know what? I like Faker better for this. Because this... I almost think this needs to be people dot length. Because what if I wasn't able to create 5 people for whatever weird reason? What if something went wrong on that? Yeah, let's do tags dot length here. Yeah, because I don't know what happened, right? I don't know that I have 5 total. It could have broken somewhere along the way and I only have 3, right? So we need to cover for that scenario. So now I'm going to go back to the browser, and this time I'm going to take you with me. And we're going to just make sure that we see the amount of people and tags that we expect, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tags. And then for people, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So some of these are things that we created ourselves. The good thing is, hang on, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to delete the ones that I created. So there's no more confusion, because I need to make sure that the counter is correct. Yeah, I'll delete that anyway, because in a second, we're going to be creating our own content. Yeah, that's fine. Let's delete this story first. It's the biggest culprit. We don't need it anymore, though. We're about to repopulate this with some other story. Several other stories, actually. We'll get rid of this. Oh, wait, we're offline, aren't we? Okay, let me pop back over to the IDE and that. All right. Just needed to start the server back up. I need a loading GIF here. I'm going to see if there's a out-of-the-box loading graphic that comes with that. All right, so that deletion worked. Now we can get rid of some of these. We had these fake tags here. We can actually use our script to delete these too. I just don't feel like doing that right now. Like a little easier to deal with. Wait, what else refers to it? It just said that other one couldn't be deleted. Oh, other tags are other tags are probably referring to it. Wait, no, I got rid of that. If I can get rid of this person. Yeah, I got rid of that one just fine. Alright, so now we only have 5 people, which is what we want. Tags is giving us a bit of a headache here. I don't know why. Alright, that one worked. Let's see. This is the one that keeps not letting me delete it. One document refers to... Oh, I see. So this is one that we created ahead of time. So let's go ahead and delete this one first. And then we can go ahead and delete this one. Yeah, those were our test content pieces. Okay, so we got 5 tags and 5 people. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head back over to the IDE. and we'll leave this running. We won't close this. What we'll do though is we want to see this being affected in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run our DC script now, which is going to first delete everything in Sanity, and then recreate it all, right? And I want to go over to the browser to see that all happening in real time. So I'm going to hit return there. There was an error. Oh, okay. I got to go back to the actual directory first. So go to sroot, cd trend junkie, and then from here now I should be able to do DC. Let's get this to be a wider. And then once we start seeing items get generated, so deleted the previous stuff. Okay, so now let's head back over to the browser and see if we can see some of this happening in real time, right? So right now we don't have any tags because those transact. Okay, and then boom, all of a sudden now we have 5 tags. Come back over to people, we don't have any people. Okay, and then all of a sudden we have 5 people. Right, looks really awesome. All right, so we know that's all working correctly. We believe stories are working correctly too. So they're happening in batches of 5 because that's what we told it to do, right? So if we head back over to the IDE, we can see that stories are being created in batches of 5. Okay, so we had story batch 1. Here, let's pull this up a bit more. We had this first story batch, right? You see it says creating story 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3. Once all those 5 are done, it moves on to batch 2, right? Because we actually implemented batching. So it's going to create 5 stories, pause for a minute, and then it's going to continue to create 5 more stories. Okay, but remember, we didn't actually tell those to, we built the transactions for them, but we haven't actually pushed them up to Sanity yet. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll leave the threshold pretty low here. We'll leave this at just 5 stories and only 2 batches. And I won't use there's a way to use this in an argument statement, and I won't do that yet. We'll wait for the end to do that. For now, let's just finish up story. So the next thing to do for stories is we need our HTML rich text content, right? And we know how to do that. We first need to kind of figure out what fields we want to grab from the content itself. As far nested as we need to go, right? We'll grab the field and then grab that field and then grab the field inside all the way until we get to the field that has the portable text, and then we'll do a .type on that. So let's come to the bottom, okay, and let's go to our actual story JSON again and see which one of these required those rich text fields. So it's going to be description for sure. So we can almost make a exact replica of our description here, right? And we'll call this story description. So const story description. We're saying get me the story schema and the field for description. That's going to be our story description schema. Let's go back. So we're done with that. And the other place we had rich text, I believe there was a couple other places. So I know it's in featured media, so there's a featured media description field as well. So we'll take a page out of the image caption here. So we will say that there's a new constant called story. Oh geez, story featured media description schema. Man, this is. Hold on, story featured media decryption? No. Description schema. We'll say story here. The first field that we want to dig into is featured media. Okay. And then the second field we want to dig into, it was the top level description field, right? So featured media .description. So that one's taken care of. The next one we need to dig into is a few layers deep, but it's this caption field, right? So we want to say story. And I can already see so many opportunities, guys, to optimize this so much more. Like, this is really suboptimal right now. So featured media, and then we'll call this image caption schema. All right, so this is going to be story, featured media, and then inside of that is going to be media. So actually what I'll do is, yeah, I'll copy this. It goes here. Fields. Find. Yeah. So the first one is media, and then the last one is caption. Okay. And then I think here at the end of that, Yep. Dot type. And there we go. So now we should have everything we need to populate these fields with rich text. So the next thing we need to do is we need to reestablish these keys. So the first one we'll re-add is description. So we'll come over to our build story. Here we go, build stories. And then in here under title, we'll do a description. And we just need to call that function that we were just in. The function is called create fake block content. So create fake block content. And then, yep, story description schema. That's exactly the one we need for that. So that one's taken care of. And then in here, wow, that's interesting. Find story? Yeah. It looks like I left this in by accident. I totally didn't mean to, but this was using the person image caption schema to populate this, which we don't want. How many of these did we just add? Yeah, so now we need the featured media description. So I think that goes in here. I think that goes in here. So that's going to be description. And this is going to be, whoops. This is going to be create fake block content. And then this is story feature media description schema. All right, so we have that. No, it's not image caption. Damn it. Okay, so it's going to be that. Okay, and now for the caption, this one is actually, what? Because this is the one that needs to be there. Okay, so now we have the featured media image caption, which is here. We have the featured media description, which is here. And then we have the actual story description, which is here. So now that's everything we need to build a story. Let's just go ahead and do our test one more time. We don't need to see 100 of these. We only need to see, let's do one story, 2 batches. It should do 2 stories. Let's do DC here. Okay, a little error here. That's okay. All right, so some kind of typo on our field creations up here. So fields find, field definition, anonymous function, at field name, description, dot, nope, it's not there. It's type.fields.find, field description, return field name equals description, dot type. So where is it complaining about here? Field name, feature media, type, fields, find media. That was it, right? Featured media, media, and then caption, yeah. Type, fields, find, field name, caption. Wait, what are they complaining? Oh, it's reading find on this. Type fields find and return if the field name equals, and they said that was on 73. So wait, let's do this. So fields.find my featured media field, and now that I have that object in type, fields.find my media field, and now that I have that defined in type, fields.find my caption field. Huh. How's that not work? Oh, media is, I see. So that's actually going to be fields of 0. There can only ever be one item in this set. So let's see if that works. No, that didn't work either. Let's see what we're doing wrong here. Yeah, the field name is definitely media there. Type fields. All right, well, I don't want this to take too much time. So what I'll actually do here is I'll do a console.log of that. And then in here, I will get rid of some of it first. I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bother that. I don't need to run any of this stuff, though. Bye. No, I don't. So I'll comment all that out. I just want to see what my output is from that object. All right, so it can't even get to the object, right? So it's not able to read 0, it says. Maybe it's just open, close? Wait, what's their syntax for that? Let's see what this is spitting back. So this is failing here. Let's actually see what this is. So now that we're at this array index, this is where, yeah, see, this is where things are getting a little trickier. Media is actually an array, so I'm not going to be able to do a fields.find on it, I don't think. So that's the media field. Yeah, so I should be able to do... Wait, that should work. Wait, do I do 0? Just so it's one thing? I don't know. Yeah, it's not that. If fields brings back anything here. Yeah, we don't get anything there. Let's see if fields brings back anything with any of these other ones. So if I were to do this, just the fields for this, and I console log this one instead, let's see what we get for that. Yeah. So wait, that stands to... That begs the question, did caption work? I mean, did media description work? Oh yeah, that's a top level field though. Oh, we're not done. It's not just media, right? It's one more inside of media. No, it's not. Yeah, so we have the top level description, which is a part of featured media. But it's when we're trying to get the media inside of this that we're having difficulties. So here, let's undo this. Actually, let's clear this out. Let's do another dump here. But this time, let's dump it on the, no, not description, the image caption. So that is the image caption. So the JSON type is an array. Yeah, the question is, how do you iterate over these? Do you have to... Like, do we have to dot map this? Yeah, let's see what this returns. Yeah, so that should... Hey, where'd my terminal go? Okay. I'm just gonna say, I think we have to map this because this is an array. So maybe map doesn't work for it, but we have to do something similar to this. Oh man, this is such an easy... This is such an easy little part of the code too. It's just giving us grief right now. Because none of these are in array syntax. So here, let me just see one thing again. It was just that that means featured media has all top level fields. It's gonna just be a JSON breakdown. Yeah. Yeah, so where are we? Okay, so yeah, media is a getter though. That's why this is returning something, but it's returning an array, which we are not familiar with working with yet. Maybe it's .get0? That doesn't feel right, but yeah, that didn't feel like it would work. And then what was that actually? Okay, so this is a field definition. Okay, let's go see if we can find something online for this. This might be a little trickier to figure out. So I'm gonna do sanity field definition. Let's see if we can just, here we go. So field definition interface, it's a class. Okay, so this doesn't seem right. That was. This is tricky. I'm gonna just say how to find fields using the schema compile. Schema.compile sanity. They keep trying to force me into this the array field type to create a list that references another document type. This also speaks to a problem in how I structure the data. Because if we're saying that this isn't an array, this is really just one media object in the end, then I shouldn't have it as an array. I should just have it as a list of you being able to choose from a list of objects. Like it really is just one reference type though. It's a reference to any of those types of data, really. But I have a feeling we are going to need to figure this out. Because what if we were building a fake piece of content that was a tag, right? And let's say that tag referenced a description field. But you can have an array of tags, right? Yeah, let's actually take this from the other angle. I'm going to go to story. I'm going to go to our field set here, the featured media field set. And let's take a look at media element to make sure that what we did there isn't causing any issues. Because that's what it's starting to feel like. So media element is here. And for the media element, we're saying that you can have an array of these things, which this is incorrect, right? Maybe. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. Maybe that's why it's not finding it, because the actual schema denotes that I have two possible names there and I'm using the wrong one. So we know this works, but then we're saying we want to do dot fields dot find. Okay, and then yep, field definition that. And then we want to return field.name equals this. That's our actual field name. And then here do dot type. So let's see if that works. If that does work, then we know we did this wrong. Yeah, so that did not work. And they're saying that they can't do the find method successfully because fields is undefined. Usually when you run fields, let's see what you're supposed to get back. It's just an object with getters, right? Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff with getters. So the fact that we're not seeing this in here leads me to believe that, and it's probably because those two element types can be anything, right? Who knows what could be inside them. So how do I know to go get this caption field that you speak of? I actually won't know that until you call your reference. So what else am I doing like this? Social networks I was doing this way. If we go back to the JSON schema, did they pass like identifiers and stuff in here? Yeah, they did. They have a key here, so they are manually doing this, which I don't want to do, but I suppose we could. They're manually declaring their entire media array. So like inside of featured media, they call out media specifically. So in our object, we need to actually generate this. Oh, this is done so poorly. This is one of those situations where you just don't know what you don't know, and we definitely over-engineered the crap out of that. So yeah, so now the question is, now that we know this is a dynamic piece of content, how do we handle it? We really can't. We really can't add caption, right? Because this is a reference that actually gets stored as a separate document. That is not correct. That is definitely not correct. You're not supposed to store those as documents. So what are our options? So this is not an array. Featured media is just one media element. So our field type should probably be, so it should be featured media, and then we do want to be able to choose between those two types of media though. That's the challenge. We want to be able to say that I'm choosing either a video or an image, and depending on which one of those I choose, kind of dictates what fields I get underneath. But then how do you relate that back to, you would need like an if statement of sorts, right? So here, let's do this. Let's go into here. And I think we know we're not going to get anything back here, but let's just confirm that. We might get undefined back here, which is okay. I'm going to go one layer below this, actually, and just spit out type again. Yeah. So let's spit out type and see. I think this is where we need to do some kind of a statement here. Yeah, we need to do something here that lets us know. Like, if I did type.name, for example, what happens? Is it just going to be array? Yeah. What if I did of here? And then what if in here we did, for of, what if we did image element? I don't even know if of works here. It might. No, of is not a function. So let's do get. Oh, not get either. What about dot find? What if we just immediately invoke our dot find? No, not there, but it would be find on. And we just skipped that other part, right? So I'll put return true here. And then here we'll just say console.log field. Okay, so we should at least get, even if it's an error, we should at least get the results of that first one. Oh no, find doesn't even work there. Wait, you know what? Let's see what's in here. What if we stop before find? This is just media now. But it is a type of getter, though. That's the weird thing about this that I'm not understanding. Actually, what we'll do, guys, is we will spit this out the long way. So we'll do, yeah, that doesn't matter, right? And then, but here what we'll do is we'll do a console.log of field. Because this is seeming to be like something different is under here. Oh, this isn't going to work either, though, because fields is going to be undefined. Oh, shoot. Part of me just says that we should fix this. It's really a list of options, isn't it? Let's see. It's not an array. Even though that is what portable text is. Let's see, if array of other options. Yeah, I'm just gonna manually do it, guys. I'm just gonna manually do it, and we'll circle back to that. Because now that I'm looking at it, I don't think that's wrong necessarily. I don't think what we just saw was actually proving that what we did was wrong. I think that there's just a way to spoof that content. Like, there's a certain way that you have to dummy that content up, and the way we're doing it is just not the right way to do it. So here's what we'll do instead. What we'll do instead is inside of the build stories object where we're pushing that, we'll be more specific around the media type that we are creating. So, and I don't think it was this. We go back to our story JSON. It's actually this that we need. So, yep. And then for caption, I think what we can say. No, this still leads us to the exact same problem though that we have right now. It's almost like we need to say for this specific. It's almost like we need to say for image element, which is silly, but I can see it happening, right? We need to say for. Damn it, the question, dude, is how do we find that value? So hang on, we know that this returns what we would expect. Let's just see in here what's in field. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a DC here. Because at this point we're about to give up, but we can't give up even the way that I wanted to just now. So yeah, so it has a title. It has a description. Okay, and description is that array of blocks, right? Which we're not doing anything with that. And then media, yeah, dude, that has to be it. Yeah, and let's just spit this out one more time. This is just media, so I'm imagining this is some kind of an array. Yeah, so now what happens if I do a map on this? Let's just return true, I don't care. Oh, so we can't map that either. I would think this is an iterable though. Iterable. See. So the name is media. So that was correct. And then we have a type that's a getter. I mean, it has to be. Hang on, let's just see what this type is. What does this come back with before we even get to type? This is just the featured media field now. Let's see what we get back here. It's a type of object. Yeah, none of these are getters though. And that's why it has fields. Type.fields, right? Yeah, type.fields is in. That's why we can run fine against it. Then when we get into media, The list gets way shorter. All right, we just have these. This time the type is a freaking getter. What if we just did dot caption? Is that gonna be anything? I don't think so. That doesn't feel right. Yeah, because it needs to know now that it found the media field. It needs to know what to do next. And it needs to know that against these items here. So dot type is gonna be my getter. This is correct, by the way. This is exactly what we would expect. But there's something I'm missing here. What if I just did dot of? Might not be even a... Alright, so we got that. Oh, nice. Here we go. Okay, so there's the video element, and then I'm guessing the other one's the image element. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so it's dot of, and then now we say if it's... Okay, this is way easier. This is way easier. So we have two routes we could take, right? So this is going to be of, and I think we're going to be able to do... Because of is an array, right? So we can say of... And we might be able to do a dot find on this as well. But I'm going to say 0 real quick. Because we know that's the image. Yep, and then that's the rest of it, yeah. Alright, and then in here, this is me cheating, by the way. This is definitely not the way you should do this. Because what you should be doing is like dot of then map. And then if the field is, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's first confirm this works. I'm pretty sure it will, but once we confirm this works, we'll do this the right way. Mm-hmm. So now let's get that out of the way. It's really dot map here. And this is as if we just did that 0, right? So then everything else in here is fine. So we're going to say dot map of... And it's not going to be field, right? This is going to be element, right? So of that specific element, then in here, I want to do the, yeah, what they just had too. That's exactly what I want. Yep. So for each individual one, I want to do element.fields, right? Where element is actually equal to, what was that type? Was an object, I guess? So it's an array of field definitions. But how do I express that? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to call this, really. I'll just be honest. Like, I have no idea what they want me to call that. But what we're saying here is, let's do a console.log of element first, just so we have each little duck in a row. And then we'll just do like return true just to get past the errors. And we'll get rid of this for now. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. All right, it's not letting me print this out. Block scoped. It's used before its declaration. I need one more closing paren. I think I need it here. There we go. Okay. Now that's cleaned up. Let's do DC here. And then now that we have this element, we can say like if the element is image element, then we can do let's do element dot, because this would be like 0. So we would need to do element dot fields dot find field. Okay, so we're still here. Let's just do a console.log of field, because this might tell us what it belongs to. Nope. Let's do field.name. No, it's not going to be field.name. And hang on, what was that? What if this is just 0? Okay, closer. All right, so this is that first 0th index. So then against elements, I do need to do field, and I should be able to do element.name. Yeah, this should actually work. So wait, can I do, so I see what I'm doing here. That's probably not the safest way to do this, because I need to know now. We know we're passing the individual element, and what I really want to do is this, right? I just want to see what element equates to before I start returning the rest of this. So I think I should be able to do element.name to find out first here, like if you're on the image element, then I want to do a find field. Yeah, this is the full set, right? So here I can do a .name. So I can basically say if element.name equals image, no, it's underscore image element. Only then do I want to proceed with returning element.field is fine. Yeah, I want to do this now. Okay. And then this is going to be even further into the functionality, because here I want to do another return that says as long as the field is called caption, then I want to return true here. So here I'm going to do my close there, and then yeah, .type. No, not that type yet. Not that type yet. Because this is going to return the actual field that I need now, and whenever that's true. Now let's think about this. So we're in this mapper now. So I'm saying that there's an anonymous function inside of here that is going to return to me one of these fields, depending on which one you're on. But in that case, there would be 2 of these being returned. So hang on, guys. This is getting tricky. So we're saying for this map of type, yeah, we need to return something else, I think. Yeah, because now it's unsatisfied. There we go. Okay, let's see what that spits back. So this is basically only, it should only show me the caption field. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that worked. And then now I can do .type here. Right? So then here I can actually say if it's caption or not here. So what I can say is if it's image element, do all of that, else. So here I need this back. Right? I can say if it's that, do that, else. If it's, so we'll do an else if here. And this is going to be our video element. And then here in video, if it's the video element, then where are we? Where's my video element? So where's video element? Here it is. Video element wants, what is video element looking for? Here's video element, and it wants a, no, not content. I mean, not title. It wants description. and transcript. Both top level fields. Both top level fields. So let's start there. Video element wants description and transcript. So we're going to say return element dot fields find field definition description. That's one thing we know we need from that. So basically we just did all of this to guarantee that we're returning only one field type. But it's going to iterate over both of those and give me everything I need underneath, right? So I can actually say if the field name is caption or not here. If the field name is description or transcript, I think this is going to get me both. Maybe. This should get me both. And then now this whole thing can just be a dot type. See if that works. I think that should work. Nope. So I know this worked. Now this is like, give me actually, let's get rid of the else. Let's just make sure we at least get the image caption for the image element. Nope, so good. That's actually a good problem because that means something we did along the way, we changed it. So where am I? This is for my return, the initial thing that's being returned, which is what I want to bubble up. And this is type of, and then it's iterating through each of these elements. And it's going to say, give me the path forward for mocking up a caption. So then when I get here, we're back on the outer element, which is up here. That means that what should be returned up top is a single field. Yeah, so I'm a little confused why that's not working. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I had the syntax wrong there. The closing curly braces are getting a little confusing, I won't lie. Wait, so do I just do it here and leave it? Do I just go as far as I can go and leave it? Because I guess yeah, I guess so. The last thing being returned is this, so that does make sense. And now we should be able to just add our underscore video element, and this should be description or transcript. This needs an X. But this isn't being removed properly. It needs to be there. Then our else actually needs a closing curly. So let's organize this a little better. That's what it should look like. So now it should be returning the innermost thing, right? So dot type here should be breaking out of everything and just returning this. All right, so let's see if that works. Now I should get, yeah, there we go. So we get 2 things back. We get our caption. And what's the other thing we get? Got a title string in there. So caption's correct. I know caption's right. Because then at that point, yeah, we can just do... So... Let me see one thing, guys. I just want to make sure that all we're getting at the bottom is this second object here. Which we are, but for some reason it's returning that caption. Do I have something off there? So, hang on. Let's go back up here a little bit. So it says the field of the video element. Yep, so video element is where we are. The fields are... Yeah, description is totally one of the fields. Something to do with the transcript? It does have something to do with the transcript being in there. Oh, I know what I was doing wrong. I'm so stupid. I was doing if field name equals description or transcript when it needs to be both declarative conditionals. Field name equals description or field name equals transcript. So now this should give me both, actually. Or it's going to give me the first one it finds. Yeah, damn it. So what I would actually need to do is be like, basically an if statement here that's like, if field name is one of these, then we want to like do a let's just say const test r equals that, and then now we can do a push test r dot push these are booleans though that are being returned too. Oh, this is so weird. Yeah, you're gonna have to do them one each. You're gonna have to make them purpose driven, which is really stupid, but like basically you're gonna have to do one of these whole chunks. That's why this needs to really be optimized, guys. We're doing this in such a lazy way. So we can get away with doing caption or description in the same one, but it would behoove us to do these all separately. Meaning define your image, your featured media image caption, define your video description, define your video transcript, and then based on what you added to your dummy content, that's the one that you call. Right? Like that's really where we are. So I'm actually going to do that. I don't really care about this here. I think the only thing we needed for this test is caption because we didn't add a video. But later when we add video, we're going to have to make this a little more robust. But the site won't have video for quite a while. So I think we're good here. Let me just run that DC check one more time to make sure that we're getting this caption. Yep, and we are. And then let's also just see if... in our story.json, if there's anything else in here that we'll need to take care of, and there isn't. So we're good there. I'm going to leave it there for now. I don't love that, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. So we'll just say that we now have variables for each of our story, like the fields in the story that require those blocks. We now have proper faker HTML being created for them. So I think we're good. Yeah, let's just leave it here, and then now what we'll do is we'll uncomment all that stuff back out of here, And then let's come down into story batches and see where we are. Yeah, we're just still spitting out stories. So let's go ahead and do another one of those. Let's do a dump of stories real quick so we'll see here. All right, creating our tags. Creating our peoples. And okay, so it tried to create the story. Block content.find. Okay, so it couldn't find something. Oh no. No, let's see where it failed though. That's not where it failed. These error logs leave a lot to be desired. I love the error logs of some of the more server-side languages. These front-end errors are very deceitful. Like, I'm not sure what some of these are even referring to. But, I mean, there was only one thing it could be referring to, right? We were on that story generation step, so it must be one of these guys are causing issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment... We only have 3, right? So I'm going to comment 2 of them out. And then we'll try and run that again. And if this passes, then we know that it's one of the other 2 that I just commented out. But if this fails again, then... And I'm actually going to drop this down to just creating 1 of each. Because it's making testing take longer. Alright, so we know it's not the first one. So now we can come back here and uncomment out this second one. It's most likely the caption. If this works, then I want to spit out what this description is doing. I want to spit out this field here if this works. Yeah, that worked. So I'm going to spit this out and see what that looks like and then compare it to the other one that we did. Compare it to story. Oh, wait, this one isn't even in use. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I just commented it out, so that's fine. So let's just do a console log of this and the other one. All right, so, and then we'll do the other one with this story. Picture, media, image, caption. We'll just stack those up. See what they look like. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more very nerdy, very in-depth coding. Wait, am I still running everything? I'm totally still running everything. So we can close it out. Let's just grab all of this. Alright, yeah, we don't need to run anything now. Alright, here we go. So let's see what our 2 objects look like. So we have our first object, which is the... Here we go. These are the objects we were interested in. Alright, yeah. Caption and description. Yeah, that's a little odd that it threw an error. Oh, it could be our structure is off. It could be in build stories, our structure is off. Media type of image element. This is totally it. But what doesn't it like about it? That actually looked fine. I still genuinely don't know why I can't do this. Oh, looks like I can do that, but I don't know if that's gonna work. Because technically now what I'm saying is return to me this field where this was true. Yeah, let's see if that works. Maybe there was something else I was doing before that was like being ignored. Let's see if we get at least the... Yeah, no, it's undefined when we do it that way. Because this is the element that we want to return that type on. So I wonder if we need to say like, no, that was totally legit. That was the exact same as we got from the description above. So this is totally gonna confuse me if this doesn't work, because there's nothing in here that we're doing that's different than what we're doing in this one, except for obviously digging into these different field types. Right? Because what we're saying here is that I only want one field from this in the end. So I'm going to allow you to go through the different types that you deal with and return to this guy a field set for... Oh, maybe you know what? You know what? Maybe what we do... Yo, you know what? I just figured it out. What we need to do here is just return element. So here, check this out. We return element right there, right? So all we do is return element. And then here, whoops, here we can close that off. And now since we have that field, that specific field, now I bet we can just do dot fields. So now we are missing something. Wait, so this is our mapper. Because this is like, basically what this is trying to achieve in my mind is the same as doing the 0th index. Right, so we're saying that's the element that we are currently on. Oh, let me see that. So yeah, do I skip fields now? Yeah, that doesn't feel right. Oh. Now dot fields. Yeah, that's what it was. So I wasn't closing this off. Because if you're going to return something in here, you have to close it off here. And then now you can get back to your dot notation, right? Because this is going to be it should be a schema object now. Because this is saying, hey, pluck out a specific element based on the name of the element. So if the name of the element was image element, I want you to pluck that out for me. So now I can go find your caption field and simply return this type here. Yeah, so that should be what we would expect. I'm actually going to spit that out. Yeah, let's just make sure that we're doing that correctly. Let's just do a console.log. Okay, and then we'll just do a console log there. So it doesn't like this. Oh, you know what it is? I think it's because .map is not like .filter. where you can because what I would want from here is something similar to .find actually. Yeah, maybe we can just do .find here. Because what I'm saying is I want you to go find this, right? So basically what I think .find is going to do is it's going to find where any of these are true, and it's just going to return the first one it finds. So in theory, it should find this first element, which should have a fields key. Yep, there we go. There we go. So map was just the wrong thing to try and use there. Okay, so now we can open this back up for testing. Let's get rid of that console log that we were doing up top. We don't need that anymore. All right, and then now what we'll do is we'll do another DC here and see if this time we get through all of our story creation. Then we can come back here and start cleaning these transactions up. Yep, we got it. It worked that time, so that's fine. So we could actually, when you think about it, right, what's happening here, let's actually go through this. I want this for VOD. Let's describe what's happening here in this method. So traditionally, when you use this method, you have a schema that's extremely flat. So take the tag schema. Okay, if we look at the tag.ts file, we can see we have some very top level fields, and the field that needs the portable text is the description field. A super top level field, you'll be able to just say tags is the content type, and then the field that you're looking for is description. So you'll see here, that's exactly what we did, right? Tag was the content type, and the field that we were looking for was description. However, when you start dealing with nested entities, like for example, in our tags array, we have an image, which points to an image element, and that image element has a, we go into our image element, it has a top level field, right? Image element has a top level field called caption. It's a top level field though. So once you get out once you extract the image field set, right? That then is going to have multiple fields inside it. And then from there, you just need to find the caption field, which the find method is doing for us. It's saying when you stumble on a field called caption, right? I want you to return me that field, right? Just filter this down to that field. And then we do a .type to just get that in block format for the portable text converter, right? So these other fields are no different. What these are saying is that it's nested, and not only is it nested, but one of these fields can have an array of different things, different types of things. So we have this top level feature media field. Inside that, there's a top level media field. And inside that, it's who knows what's in here, right? It's we have no clue what's in here. So since we know from our work that we're doing right now, we're actually focused on getting the image caption. That's the field we want to populate this faker field that we're creating. So we then can just declare that, right? We can say specifically, if this element that you're currently on, because that's what find does, it's going to loop, it's going to iterate over an array of elements and pull out the one that you want, right? Whenever it finds a true. So what we're saying here is, actually, I don't even need the if statement there. I could just do return this. So what this is saying is like, if this statement is true, then wherever you are currently in your loop, that's the element I want you to return to me, right? It's a find clause. So the first time you find the element.name is equal to image element, then apparently that's what I'm looking for. So that gets returned to this set, right? This outer set right here. So then now from here, you can start your chain again, right? You can start looking through this again. If I wanted to, I can do a .type right here and do a .fields, I think. I think I can do a .type right here and then do another .fields. But we don't need that, right? We already know the type. As a matter of fact, I think for some of these other ones, no, those can't, I can't do it on those. Yeah, because these are actually getting me field sets, right? Things that have multiple fields inside them. And this here is getting me an element. Actually, I think I can do that. .type, .fields. I think this is legit. Oh, let's put our console log back. All right, and then let's go comment the rest of that stuff out. We should set a debug flag and wrap it around this whole statement so that we don't have to keep commenting and uncommenting. That's kind of the proper way to do that. So here, let me see if that worked, the .type clause on that. It did. It did work. So that's exactly how we should do it. It should actually be a type here because we need to know that the fields that we're perusing through, that we're searching through, needs to be of a certain type. And in this case, it's a type of whatever type of element this was, which the name of this was underscore image element. But if you remember, the type of that, if we go into our media element, the type of those are image element, right? And the type of, for the video element, was actually a video element. So you do need to do the .type so you can make sure that when you're extracting that field set, you only have the block that you're interested in, right? So now if we release the dragon again, we run this. I'm honestly thinking it's gonna work. I think the other one we did probably would have had mixed results when we moved it over to Sanity. I don't think that would have actually done what we had intended. Yep, and there we go. We have our content. Yep, so there's our featured media, and then our media is an array of things, right? It's an array of objects, so it's going to give us that in array form, which is what we would expect. So now that we are this far along, let's go ahead and set up our transactions for stories. So now we can come here and uncomment out all of this stuff. And let's update our labels for things. So we know that the post transaction is actually going to be story. Actually, we have a few other things that we can tackle while we're in here. So let's just do all references to the word post right now. Let's just change that to story. And then we have one little outlier here with two, where these are both going to be stories plural. And then here in the transaction, story batch complete, and then all batches complete, and then any error, we'll just catch whatever error gets thrown. And then now for the promises, we're actually going to say complete the rest of this with an array of promises. Okay, so I want to promise all, but I want to populate the next index with my first story batch, the index after that with my second story batch, the index after that with my third story batch, and so on and so forth. Right? Because these story batches, we know that we want to do them in chunks. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this as is, and in Sanity Studio, we should see magically that some content appears, right? We should see 2 stories, and then the people should automatically start populating. Yep, there's our 2 stories, and then we should have 1 tag and 1 person. Yep, and that all worked as expected. Now let's investigate inside of here, make sure that there are no errors, which there is, right? We have some keys missing. So let's see where the keys was on the media and the authors and the tags. So those actually do need the keys. So we're going to need to go grab those. So let's head back over to the IDE. That's a really easy fix, because those items got keys as well. So we'll be able to, we're already providing, if we go back over to the browser, I'm just going to hit add missing keys so I can confirm that we're already adding. Yeah, see, these are being added. And the problem is you should only be able to add 1 author. So I need to figure out a way in Faker to make sure that once we have added one of these items, that it gets removed from that list. You shouldn't be able to add the same one twice. And the same for tags, right? It's not going to make sense if you have 2 of the same tags. So even if we were to try and publish this, I think we're going to get validation errors. Oh no, we don't have any unique validation on these. Oh, you know what's happening? It's not that we don't have unique validation, it's that these are all getting unique keys. Because I'm just using the generate key thing there. All right, item of type image element is not valid for this, so that's another thing we have to figure out. So let's go back over to the IDE. We have some debugging to do. Let's go into our story schema builder. I need to figure out how to get out of that. That is a really weird. Oh, so I suppose I can just right click that. Okay. All right, so it's going to be inside of the build stories function where we need to make our change. And the first one we need to make is that media cannot have a type of image element. It can only have a type of underscore image element. So there's that. The next one that we need to do is on our entity references, right? So one of them was tags. We need a key in here. And that's going to need to be the same key that we're given in here. So since this is a return method, meaning it's like an anonymous function, I can actually define this here. So I'll say const tags equals this. Not tags, but tag ID equals this. And then I'll do tag key is equal to whatever the ID was here, right? So this is going to actually be tags ID. Tag ID. And then, yep, exactly. It's going to be that dot key. So do I have to say like number here? Wait, they said because this was not explicitly, what? Element implicitly has an any type because index expression is not of type number. But no, what if, why can't I do this then? Man, I don't know how to assign this as a number. Oh, it's not a number, it's a string, duh. So okay, sorry. So this is what I really want to do. I want to say const tag is equal whatever this is. This is going to be persisted. All right, so now I can be like these two. I can just say tag ID and then underscore key. Underscore key. Okay, so that takes care of tag. Now the next one we saw had a problem was author. Same exact problem though, right? Same exact problem. So if we take this, we can actually do const person. And let's make sure we don't have a person. Well, no, they wouldn't let us do it twice, right? So const person. Oh, this is scoped anyway. Is equal to that. And then now I can just, same thing, right? I can just swap these out now. All right, and there we go. So now that those two errors where those didn't have keys will be removed. The next thing I would want to do though is as I'm going through this array of tags, I don't need it anymore, right? By the time I'm at the part of my code where the story is being triggered, well, actually disregard that too. These aren't being passed by reference, right? These are literally just for me to do whatever I need with, right? So in theory, what I could do is say that if I've already added, so remember these are inside of an array syntax, right? So I could say that once we get here, I could make a temporary version of that people variable, and I could, wait, hang on. That might not work. So this actually has to be let, by the way. Not const, because this is going to keep running in this scope, and that means I need this to be mutable. It's going to be let. Man, this is actually a tough problem to be tackling right now. I love it. So, what we really need to do if we want to make sure that this array of items is unique, right? So it should be the case that if I've used one of the tags already, I should be plucking that off of the current array, which would kind of stand the reason that I need access to this guy, right? Because remember, this variable here is pretty much a constant. Okay, so this is not going to change unless I tweak it, right? So I may want to say that I'm okay with this being manipulated as long as it's being done from a like a replica inside of here somewhere, right? So if I were to define, oh man, this is tough. I could call this temp tags instead of tags. And then once I do this let call, I can do another JavaScript method that removes an array item. What is that, splice? So pop is the last array element. First array element is shift. And then removing it by index is the delete operator? What? I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, but it sets the value to undefined. Index of the element you wish to remove and the index you wish to remove up to. So, okay, I want to do splice then. Splice is more so what I'm looking for. The original array will no longer contain the values removed and its length will be updated. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to do splice here. So really what I want to do at this point is like tag dot splice. And then what I can do, yeah, here it is right here. I mean, another way to do this is just to have a tag index variable here. Let tag index equal that. And then now let tag equals tags dot tag index. Get rid of these. And then now that I have that, I can do tag.splice. If they, yeah, they do. Okay, so that's what we can do. We can actually just say that we have a tag index. We'll say that the tag that I want is that, and then now we say remove that from the tag index. I mean, remove that from the tags array altogether. And then what we can actually say here is that outside of this, right, just outside of this scope, can be one more. But would I have access to that? Yeah, because I have access to tags, right? So that would stand the reason that inside of each of these, I can do a. I should be able to do a let here, and I should be able to be like let underscore tags, which is like temporary tags, equals tags. And then let underscore people equal people. Why do I keep adding these? And then now, inside of here, I should be able to access that underscore tags as my reference point so that the only thing getting updated is that array. So then by the time the next iteration of this loops comes in, right, like the big loop, it'll redefine tags as whatever was out here. Yeah, I think that'll work, guys. So let me give that a try real quick. We're going to say this tags, that tags, and that tags actually needs to be underscore tags. And we won't test the person yet. We'll only do this for tag and see if this worked out. But this should be fine. I think this should be fine. So let's go over to the browser. I struggle with this. There we go. Okay. So now let's... I guess it's fine here as is. We can just leave that there. That's the screen that we're going to want to fall back on. So let's go back to the IDE and let's run our content generator. That's what we should call the alias. Actually, yeah, let's do that. It should be CG, not DC. I don't know why I chose DC there. Okay, so what I'll actually do is I'll do a CG here, and the just in case I forget one day. Debash that. That should be quick. Now CG, content generate, will do the same thing. So now this should actually stand up our content in the Sanity UI. Let's actually see progress here. Now let's head over to the browser. All right, so it deleted the document, which is good. See here, it should stand up some document as well. All right, we have an error. Let's see what our error is. Probably something what we just. Okay, so there is no tag underscore ID here. All right, so what doesn't it like about that? So if I was in this array of tags, here, it's down here. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, I gotta use it first, don't I? Oh shoot, so I gotta do something like I'll do something like that where the tag object is equal to that, and then now I can splice this off, because what was happening there is I was splicing it before I could access it. So now we just need to return tag object. Damn, that got lengthy. See, this is why this needs to be moved around. You can't do all of this in one class. There's so much code that goes with React. Like, I'm pretty sure everything I'm doing has a clever way of like knocking it out. But yo, this is actually tough. What is it complaining about now? Oh, tags underscore ID still doesn't exist. Oh, wait, what is tag then? So it didn't fail until we got to story, which is where we are. Underscore tag equals tags, which is fine. Don't have any variables for that, so yeah, I guess we got to start debugging this the long way. I thought that would have worked right out the bat. Like, I didn't think there would be anything. Let's just do testing. Tag index is 0, and tag is undefined though. That's the problem. Yeah, so tag index is, underscore tags is probably the real problem. Yeah, I don't think I'm passing. I don't think I'm getting access to tags. Yep, tags is empty. So the question is, how do I get tags to be available? I didn't do anything special to those. So I need it to be available in my... Hang on, let's see if I did something similar. No, normally when I go that deep... Do I gotta do this since it's an anonymous function? Yeah, let me see what this spits back. This is a... Yeah, this is... That's fine, I don't care about that. That doesn't feel right. Let me see. I'm gonna check on the web. I want to see pass variables to map function JavaScript. Just want to do some research real quick because there's probably a easy way to do this. I know that I can use map with the function of one variable in the following manner. How do I use map with the following function? X and then my adjustment, where I want to input value for argument adjustment manually. When I call map, say argument 2. I wonder, is it just like pass your first argument and then pass the other arguments? I don't want it. So the first one's your callback, and then the second one looks like it's your actual like parameter that you want to pass. So for us, what does that look like for us? Would that mean that in this map function we're passing one more variable? I don't want to test that. That feels... Ugh. A deep dive. Value and index. Then the whole array if you wanted. Yeah, they're saying it's don't do it anonymously. They're saying do it like just actually write your function for real. And then in your return use this dot whatever and then pass that to your declaration in the map. So here's .map in React. Yep, and then you just have hero in the index. You don't have access to those outer elements. Damn it. So maybe we can't guarantee that these authors will be unique. Or that the tags will be... I suppose once we start adding 10 and 60 things, then the odds that they're going to be the same is going to be extremely likely. That would have been nice, but I guess we can't do it. We're out of scope. So we could do it. Be clear about that, but we don't want to go through the magic hoops to supply that this variable here. It just feels like overkill. Let's go ahead and live with the fact that some of these are going to be duplicates, but let's also make sure that we have them all properly keyed. Yeah, so let's just start there. And then we're gonna enable the script again. And next time we run this, we're gonna run this against all the content that we need. So we're gonna do our 10 tags, 10 people, and then 30 stories. And once that's running, I'll take a quick break as well. Yep, so that all should have gotten created. Come back over to the browser here. Browser. Here it is. Okay, I was like, wait, that's not it. All right, so we have our 2 stories, which is what we would expect. Let's just look in people, make sure there's nothing else that we need to fix. I think there was some image stuff there that we also needed to correct, but go down this list. Nope, everything was added as expected. So now story being the biggest of the 2, let's see if everything's okay here. Oh man, Facebook's frozen. Man, Facebook just refuses. And I did have somebody on here. Oh my god, Reese. Facebook refuses to cooperate when it comes to me streaming on that platform. Like, it acts like it doesn't want this much. All right, so we still don't have keys for the authors or the tags. I could have sworn I did that. So if we come back to the build stories, the IDE, yeah, we definitely have key and tag has it as well. Let's see what, yeah, we have objects. See, some items in the list are missing their keys. This must be fixed in order to edit the list. This usually happens when items are created using an API client and the underscore key property has not been included. Value of the underscore key property must be a unique string. Oh, that's right. I can't reuse the key from here. I need to generate ourselves a key of our own. Let's actually do a search here for underscore key because if I'm not mistaken, we had to do that somewhere else. Yeah, we just used the ID for it. Because that's not, so what that's saying is this isn't just a reference to this author. This is this particular reference to that author. So while the ID value can be unique, right? So if we come back over here, look at that schema, the reference value is going to be unique. The key, however, is what makes it unique to this instance of the story, to this particular instance of the story. So what we need to do is generate our own key value here because we're saying, since this is a huge document lake, if you wanted to, I can get you this, I can query for this specific version, like this specific, as a matter of fact, here's a better example. What if I want to do a reverse lookup that says, show me every place that this one tag has been used? Okay, so you're starting at the tag, and then you're working your way outward to say, give me all the content where the reference equals this ID. And then if you wanted to further filter that to say, well, give me the tag specifically for this piece of content, this specific story, well then now they're gonna have to find that using the key. Because the reference ID, it could be any one of those pieces of content, right? But for this specific instance of its usage, it would have a unique key, which would be this guy. Okay, and that's always going to be unique no matter what. So we need to use the faker unique method here, which we just had up. Just do that, and then let's go back and find it. There it is. Really easy UUID function, and it can be anything. It just needs to be unique. So I'm going to do that, and I'm actually going to move this back the way it was. Less code for me is always better. We only use the word person once, so we might as well just put that back how it was. Same thing for tag here. I'm just going to grab this again. We're going to take that out, kill that, and then here we're just going to say that. And then this guy is going to be that faker dot number dot UUID. Is that it? No. Faker dot random dot UUID. No. Damn it. What was it? Oh, dot string. No, it's not a number. I don't know why I keep thinking of UUIDs as a number. UUID is like a special character dash delimited string. No way that could be a number. Okay, so now that we have that in place, we should get rid of some of those first errors we were seeing. Head back over to the browser. We should get rid of these two errors, but that won't solve for the media error, right? Media also has a key property that needs to be unique on it because once again, you may want to look it up that way. So this is just sanity, making sure that anything that gets added to its system has a unique identifier of its own. Not the identifier that references the content, right? But a key that says that this is a part of this particular instance of that content being generated, right? So here we're going to go into our media, and then we need to find our image, right? So in our image asset, and here I think is where we need it, and it'll be here, right? Wherever you see reference, most likely that's where the key goes. So we'll go key, and then here we'll do faker.string UID. So now if I rerun this DC command or CG command, whatever we want to call it, go back over to the browser. First, let's hit the IDE, make sure we get through. Okay, so that looks good. Now if we head back over to the browser, whenever this finishes, we'll get ourselves a new story. And now that story is almost free of issues, right? So it looks like I do have the issues fixed for the tags and the author, the authors, but I don't have the media piece fixed. So there is something else that is requiring that on media. So I'm not going to keep playing the guessing game. I'm just going to go over to the story.json, fire open that media, and it goes at the very topmost level, not on the image. The image actually doesn't have a reference. The reference goes on the top of the media array. So we're going to take this key, because remember, media itself is a reference to image element, right? So we'll take that and we'll just pop that key on the top. And that should do it. Let's go ahead and run that again. That's going to delete everything that we just created and then stand up a couple new stories, a couple new tags, etc. Let's go back over to the browser so we can see that happen in real time. Now we should all of a sudden see a story get populated here, which we do. Now we can go ahead and click that. Two of them got created, but that's fine, right? So here's our beautiful image now. It's called Focused. And then now if we head over to Innovative Tangible Support, what? Oh, this is too long. Subtitle. Oh, no, we can't have that. But there's our image, right? Extended. So let's head over to the IDE. We got one more thing to clean up before we can pull the trigger on all the content. So it looked like in the stories array that the subtitle, which is here, has a max of 12 words, which, as we see in the browser, can be too lengthy, right? So if we come here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that is too many. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. Okay, so we'll do 9 words. And then we'll actually do a search for subtitle to make sure that we are not. So we did this before, but I like sentence better. Sentence just feels way easier. So we'll do a sentence where the minimum is 3 and the maximum is 9. Commas. Let's do a search for the next instance of subtitle, and yeah, N3 max 9. Okay. And then now we should be able to run this with no errors this time. I'm confident. Okay, let's go over to the browser. One story completed successfully. The second story is in there. And now the subtitle field looks good there. Let's look at this next one. Yep, that looks good as well. Everything looks a-okay. Let's see if any of these feature content pieces are true. Remember, this needs to be a Boolean of true if it's true. Let me inspect this real quick and see that sound. I want to inspect the raw JSON and just see if the featured Boolean is the way I think it is. But yeah, it's just a straight up Boolean flag. So we just so happen to have 2 of the same false results here. But now what we're going to do is we're going to open the floodgates. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and we are going to do, let's do 60 stories, let's do 15 people, and let's do 20 tags. Let's say we have, now let's just do 10 people. We don't have that many people. But let's say we have a site that is very rich in sections. So actually, I'm gonna do, since we're leaving the desk right now, I'm gonna do 20 of each of these, and then do 60 stories. I feel like this is overkill. I don't need 20 people. Let's do 10 people. And I think 20 tags is reasonable, but I'm gonna do 15 tags. No, I'm actually gonna do 10 tags. I'm gonna drop it down. No, you know what? Screw it. We are building a data lake. I'm gonna do 60, 20, 20. And we're gonna do 2 batches of the 60 stories. So I'm actually gonna bump that to 3 batches, and I'm gonna drop this down to 30. So we'll get 90 stories in the end. I'm actually gonna drop this down to 20. We'll get our 60 stories. We're gonna split that up across batches of 20. We don't want to bombard that huge content creation. Actually, I don't even know if I want to do 20. I'm going to do batches of 10, and I'm going to do 6 batches. That feels a little more responsible to me. I don't know what we're going to hit with those huge story creations. So we'll create all of our... We'll just do 10 of these as well. We'll do 10 people. No, we'll do 20. We'll do 20. We'll do 20 of these people, 20 tags, and then we'll do 60 stories in total. All right, so I'm going to set this on autopilot. Let me go back over to the IDE. These are the settings I was configuring, these top level settings that we've always had in place. So I'm going to do 10 stories, but we're doing 6 batches. So let's actually do batches first. Batches are only applied to stories. The people and the tags get created first outside of the batch scope. And then after that gets done, then now the stories that get created can pick from this litter, right? So when they want to tag a story with some people, they choose from those 20 people. When they want to tag a story with certain tags, they choose from the 20 tags, right? So, and then once these are complete, what's going to happen is it's going to start kicking off batch 1, which is told to create stories 1 through 10. Then it's going to kick off batch 2, which is going to be 11 through 20. Then batch 3, which is 21 through 30, so on and so forth. So that should be on autopilot. I shouldn't need to monitor this, but I will sit and watch the first few minutes of this, or a few seconds of it, rather, before I do this break. So let's CG, and now we should slowly see our progress, which is really good that we added those console logs. See our code progressing. So we technically, once these are done and this code is pushed, and look at that, we only have 6 changes that we made. Albeit this one script is taking care of quite a lot. We're going to need to break it out into a little sub factory soon. But for now, this one little piece of logic that we wrote is responsible for completely hydrating our data lake. We don't have to do anything but sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, that said, I need to take a bio break, plus I need to get more aqua. Y'all know how I feel about my aqua. So I'll do that real quick. You guys hang tight, and I'll be right back. All right, looks like I came back right in time. All 6 batches completed successfully, so that's always great to see. So let's head over to the browser real quick like. And let's see our hard work pay off. All right, so we'll come here, just spot check a few of these. We don't need to dig too deep, right? And see, this is what I was saying, right? When you have enough content, the odds that the randomizer chooses the exact same indexes is almost impossible, right? The odds that like this random content generator is going to be like, all right, of the 2 indexes I could choose, I'm going to choose both 1 and 3. I mean, both 1 and 1, right? Like, no, it's gonna mainly give you random selections for those, which is exactly what we want, which is great. So now we have a fully hydrated content management system. Although the content is lorem ipsum, that's totally fine for us, right? We don't care about that. This is very static. Now that's one thing I'll admit right off the bat. This is a very static. Oh geez, this is a very static content spoofing system, like a test content generator. What should be happening here is a couple things, right? Like number one, if I ever needed to go make a change, like add a new field, for example, to the tag content type, unfortunately right now, I have to actually go back into those create docs, and I have to add all of those bells and whistles. Lord forbid that the field type is like the rich text field type, where we had to do all the other stuff, right? Like, ideally, what would happen is that my create content script would be clever enough to look at my schema, my latest schema, and use that to build out the sample object required. Even better, my schema would go grab a test tag, like just any existing tag, and it would use the output of that to generate the fake version of the object. That's what you really want to do. The only limitation there is you would have to use a combination of that and your... So you would have to use the schema to figure out what the field types are, and then the field types would map back to your object from the query. So you could basically have a mapper that takes all of your field types and declares, like, if it's the description field, this is the type of field you're building, right? If it's the slug field, this is the type of field you're building. And when I say type of field, I really just mean here's what you need to populate it with. Like, it needs a type, it needs some fake text, it needs fake HTML, rich text, whatever. And then on the object side, like the actual data side, you say, all right, here's a sample object that represents a tag. Now you can clear out all the values and just use the structure, right? You can just say, I know I needed this ID field. Let me go look at my mapper to see what value I needed for that. Oh, it says that whenever I have an ID, I need to do faker.string.uuid. Done. You know what I mean? Like, so it pretty much solves all that for you, the more dynamic you make it. But our project is not a super awesome fake content generator system. That's not what we were aiming for. That's just going to help us with getting through a lot of our tickets, especially when it comes to the front end. So now that we're in the browser, we may as well start closing these out, right? Were we able to create 60 story content pieces? Absolutely, right? So we don't need to put a description in here. The title is good enough, but I am going to just slap that in here as well in the sanity.io system, right? And it's not going to tell me how to do this. As a developer, I took it upon myself to do it the right way, but I'm going to move this over to done. Create 10 new people. We did that. I think we actually have 20 new people. So we'll say create 10 new people in the sanity.io system. And then we'll save that. And then what we'll do is in the comment, we'll say we actually created 20 people since we're overachievers. Okay? And that's going to be our little comment to ourselves. We'll move that to done as well. Okay, and then finally we have the 10 new tags. Same story here. We'll say the description was, hey, add 10 new tags to the sanity.io system. And then we'll say we created 20 tags since we are cool. Okay, so these are our test tags. So, just to throw that out there, none of this stuff is going to be in our production environment, so we can go crazy with the test content. So the next ticket on our list, we're not going to do it tonight. We're actually just at time. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to push our latest code up so that that dummy content generator script is in place. And then the next time we meet, we will go over finishing this ticket and moving on to our tags wireframe. The tags, I feel like once we get a handle around how to actually get this content from Sanity into our local environment, I have a feeling that we're going to breeze through the actual connecting the dots. Like, for example, we need that home page here. If we go here, right, we need this page to be real content. It looks great right now, but the content's all fake. These tags are fake. These titles are fake. Imagery is fake. All of it's fake. We need this to be legit, right? We need it to be real content. So I think we're going to tackle that piece next. And my thought is that once we start digging into like what that actually looks like in the code, I think that's going to be one of the easiest things we do. Okay, I think what's going to be more complicated for us is the wireframe and the static designs. And I actually know now when we have these static design tickets, they're not 3-point efforts. They're actually 5 points for us because we are not designers. So we're going to see how we fare now that we have Shad CDN. I forgot about that. Not Shad CDN, but Shad CN has made things a lot easier for us. So maybe we can breeze through some of the static tag design stuff. I mean, well, not just tag design, but maybe we can breeze through some of the static design stuff. We'll see. But for now, we have to kind of play it as if we are in, I won't say rush mode, never as a developer be in rush mode. But we do have to take it as though we are working for a client and we gave that client an expectation. And they asked us this at the end of the meeting. They said, hey, are you sure out of all this stuff, you're going to also get to this really cool story element WYSIWYG experience? And we didn't tell them anything, thank God. But we'll probably have to tell them, unfortunately, this was too much for us to take on, and we ended up just completing the other things, which are nothing to sneeze at, right? 3 weeks worth of work. We finished basically connecting their homepage and tags page. Not only did we connect it, but we designed it for them, and we connected all that to the Sanity system. And going forward, as their developers, we'll be able to quickly spin up test content instead of having to manually like type things in each individual field and build this stuff out. We'll be able to quickly spin up that content. So hopefully that was a worthwhile investment of time putting that stuff in there. I think it was. I personally do feel it was, and we'll see. Hopefully it pays dividends. We're gonna put blocked right before in progress. I think that's kind of that is more often than not seen Jira board. Let me come out a little bit. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we have to do, we have blocked in progress, and we have done. I'm actually gonna move these into in progress, these two. I'm not gonna move the final one yet. But we'll say that for the next two, actually I'm gonna move this back to do. For the next two sessions, our goal is going to be to fully wireframe out that tags design and finish connecting Sanity to the homepage design. So not super complicated, right? It's not hard at all. Yeah, so we're going to fix the URLs. Content on the homepage design is all dynamic. And then we're going to add one more AC here. We're going to say footer and, header and footer navigation points to navigation links have been decided, and link to either placeholder pages or their actual page. All right, so we're going to do that for them as well as an AC4. That's a really easy AC there to knock out. But yeah, I think we're good to stop here. I hope you guys learned as much as I did tonight. I think this was a really fascinating night, really cool toolkit that we have in our arsenal now. I feel like we're in Minecraft, right? Website Minecraft, which is kind of cool. We have now some tools that we can go use in battle, in an actual battle now. So that's the next video. We'll be doing some actual battling, aka making progress on our actual website. So hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Always remember, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy this kind of content. If you're as big a nerd as I am and you like seeing code get written in real time and people get stuck and people looking things up on Google and seeing it all, seeing how the sausage gets made, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Drop some hearts in the chat for the boy. And yeah, have a great rest of the night, guys. Peace out, my junkies, my fellow junkies and junkettes.